In the wild western wastelands of the Great White North, two gay lefty scumbags embark on an endless pursuit for the true meaning of wokeness. This is Woke in the West. Welcome, one and all, to another Woke in the West.
Yes, we're here to be woke, awakened,
And
even?
Western. Yeah!
Yes, we are in the West. Well, it's been a minute. Not like our longest break, but long enough that a lot has happened. I've
Same
heard
as
people
always.
say that this has been like the weeks where years happen, and it really feels like that right now. Well, you know, we're going to get into all the Iran war stuff and the disaster that it's bringing to the global economy shortly. But, you know, in this show, we like to lead with
The true North,
the
strong,
true North,
and
strong
free.
and free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with something snazzy there, but it didn't
Gotta
really
rely
work out.
on Old Faithful, True
Yeah.
North.
Hit us with that slap.
Woo! All right.
I know we're all smiles right now, but the first story is not quite a smiling affair. So the budget has been, for the most part, approved, and Carney's cuts are coming clear into focus, and they are worse than Harper. I think we talked about this before, where Harper was making cuts post 2008 around 8 to 10%. But Carney's cuts, for the most part, are an average of 15% across the board.
First one is like negative 40%.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
So let's just quickly list the things that have been slashed. I could say the thing and you can say the percent.
Okay.
So the Canadian Revenue Agency.
40.9%.
Close to 41. Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
69.6.
Department of Indigenous Services.
11.2. Okay, so that's not too bad.
Department of Crown Indigenous Relations and Northern Affairs.
18.5.
Global Affairs, Canada.
22.9.
Canada Post Corporation.
98.9% cut.
How do you almost cut 100%
Holy
of the
shit.
Canada Post
The
budget?
fucking mail?
I mean,
Oh
I know
my
there's a story, we don't have it here, that Canada Post is officially going to end home delivery. So that is, you know,
That's ridiculous. Man.
we're going to hear from someone later on in the Canada segment about how bad this sort of thing is, but we'll continue this list of cuts. Department of Citizenship and Immigration.
26.1%.
Environment and Climate Change Canada.
45.4.
I thought we cared about the climate. Department of Public Works and Government Services.
19%.
Department of Health.
10.9%.
Via Rail Canada Inc.
50.2%.
Oh my God, a
Almost in
50% cut
half.
for Via Rail.
Yeah.
Canada Air Transport Security Authority.
53.8, so over 50%.
Canada Space Agency.
32.6%.
Office of the Chief Electoral Officer.
60.4%.
I think though that would be the person who like runs by-elections and just the elections in general, so that doesn't seem great. Department of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
10%. Nice round number right there.
Yeah.
Just 10.
It's like one of the lowest so far, or the lowest so far. Public Health Agency of Canada.
19.4%.
Department of Canadian Heritage.
16.3%.
Wow, that's a Canadian heritage moment. Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation.
5.3%.
Department of Natural Resources.
5.4%.
Atomic Energy of Canada Limited.
12.5%.
Windsor Detroit Bridge Authority.
50.4%.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
12.2.
I thought we weren't defunding the CBC.
Yeah, but it's only 12%. That's compared to some of the other shit on this list. It's not
true.
bad.
It's true.
It's not a 98.9% cut. I'll tell you that for free.
CBC is not Canada Post, I guess. Shared Services Canada.
7.4%.
The Department of Justice.
7.8%.
And lastly, the Department of Western Economic Diversification.
22.5. So is that like Alberta and BC, I guess?
Yeah. And just,
Getting
making
shafted
sure
again.
that our industries are not all just lumber and oil. Carney's cuts have happened, but we knew that they were happening. It's just this is the starkest we've seen these numbers so far, and they are not great.
Canada Post is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
This is like important. This is like one of the most important services a government can offer.
Well, the problem is that governments, or like in this, very capitalist minded society we live in, is that services are indistinguishable from corporations or businesses. And in the eyes of government, it's like, well, Canada Post doesn't turn a profit, but it's
not
a service.
Supposed to.
Yeah. And like I said, we have a great clip later on of a new figure on the Canadian political scene saying, why is there an expectation for services to turn a profit? But I'm getting ahead of myself.
So where's all this money going to even? Is it just going to defense spending?
Oh, yeah, probably. Mostly defense spending and God knows what else. He's got all the list of national interest projects, so maybe that's where the money is going. And maybe this will help get us out of the deficit that people who continually vote conservative always seem to complain about. But when their guys are in power, they don't really care that there's a deficit. But anyone else, the deficit is an election issue. So if this massive cut to the Canadian service safety net that the government provides in all sorts of areas in this country, if this doesn't, balance the books and whatever, and we still end up like, $1 trillion in debt at the end of it all, then I guess, we can't do much worse than another Liberal government. So we'll have to vote for the Green next time.
Yeah. Or NDPs.
Yeah. Or NDP. Yeah. They just got a breath of fresh air. But again, ahead of myself, we have a bit of an examination on the cuts here from the figure I had just been alluding to, Avi Lewis.
Avi Lewis.
I am now saying his name for the first time.
Whoa, spoilers.
Yes. Here's a small sample of the Liberal government's devastating cuts. And he lists basically everything that we just said. But I like that he singles out the CRA there, because when you fire people and let them off from the tax agency, then there are less people in the tax agency who are going to be able to pursue, investigating like tax fraud and stuff. That's a very purposeful thing. This happens in the U.S. all the time.
So if you want to cheat on your taxes, now's the time to do it.
This is a great time to do it.
Yeah.
All to free up money for unprecedented public spending and on weapons in the military, just as you said. Thank you, Avi Lewis. In other words,
austerity for programs and services Canadians rely on. Bottomless money pit for war. This is not what we voted for. This is why Canada needs the NDP.
Or the Greens.
Yeah.
Or someone even more progressive.
Interesting that we're racking up our military right when we said we're not intervening in Iran.
Yeah, interesting.
I hope that's against the U.S. and not.
Yeah, we should be building up
the US.
forces against our southern border for the potential of an American invasion of desperation. But, I've been saying that for a while too. Carney said he was going to do a civilian force, but where is it?
Civilian Defense Force, let's go.
Yeah, you're really taking your sweet ass time, Carney. Where are the houses? Where's the budget to hire thousands of Canadians to build houses? But thank God the spending met 2% of the NATO target. I'm really glad. And you know what? When money is tight, hope for the future tends to dwindle. And as reported here by @Canadian Polling, among youth, Canada now ranks 71st in the world in the World Happiness Report.
Israel is number 3.
Well, I mean, they get away with everything. They have impunity. So, yeah. I mean, Serbia has a dictator right now, so I really don't know how it's possible that they're that high up. Costa Rica's like the one where I'm like, I can kind of see it. Very interesting top 10 list here, but yeah, Canada fell way down to 71st.
Yeah. Costa Rica, I can see. Denmark definitely is always.
And this is among youth, which is 25 and under, which is not a category that either of us fit into anymore.
No. Couple of old fogies.
These are people born after 2001 that are unhappy. I mean, my brother is from 2001, so like he's miserable. So, I mean, what does this say? We really got to be doing more to lift up the morale of youth in this country. And right now,
the youth are the future.
The only thing they had to cling on to basically in the last election was that, a lot of them really liked Pierre's lies that he was going to get them homes, right? And now Carney has a plan for homes, but we haven't seen anything yet. Nothing material has happened to affect Canadians really in this sort of life-changing way. Like you might get a little bit more on your tax return in a few weeks, but that's just so you can spend that on groceries right after. So it's pathetic, and I spit on the face of the people who think that we are headed in the right direction.
I spit on them.
So speaking of old Mark J. Carney and his liberal government antics.
Did he finally get something right?
Yeah.
Well, not immediately anyway. So you might not know this, but there's a war happening right now in the
Whoa,
Middle
what?
East.
The next major war to be fought in the world is going to be right here.
And the Canadian Liberal government has been dragging its feet on saying anything critical of the aggressor state, the terrorist nation that is Israel.
Israel.
But
very
Carney-
wishy-washy.
Yeah, Carney decided a few days ago to first do a statement condemning Iran's unprovoked attacks on the UAE and across the region, reiterating the importance of opening secure access through the Strait of Hormuz. Canada supports efforts to safeguard international shipping and ensure freedom of navigation. It was around this time, too, that there were like vague statements from various U.S. allies that said that they would be willing to contribute or something
Whatever
like
that means.
Yeah, it was vague and stupid. And I almost want to feel like it had to have been that vague and stupid just to make Trump happy and that no one's really doing it. But they are still committing lots of money to, military efforts. So Mark made a statement there.
Just so we're clear, Iran's attacks on the UAE were not unprovoked.
No,
they
not
were going
remotely.
after the military bases, right?
Yes.
The U.S. military
Yep.
bases.
The U.S. has spent 40 years building military bases to surround Iran.
Yeah. So this is very misleading language from Mark
It's
here.
gross. It's very much like kind of, on the side of the aggressor language. Unprovoked attacks. Yeah, sure, Carney. Protect that capital at all costs. And of course, in lockstep, you could say,
This is from a few days after that first statement.
our foreign minister, Anita Anand, says Canada joins its partners in expressing concern about the death penalty law passed by the Israeli Knesset that, in practice, systematically targets Palestinians. This discriminatory law adds to a growing list of actions which enables illegal settler violence while dehumanizing the Palestinian people. Canada unequivocally opposes its application. We reaffirm our commitment to human rights and the global movement to establish.
They're getting
abolish the
there.
death-
They're getting
still
closer.
no condemnation of Israel, still no condemnation of any of the specific genocidal monsters in the Israeli Nazi government who put this forward, expressing concern. I mean, Anita Anand had some really pathetic statements throughout this. It was honestly really hard to pick a specific post of hers to put in the show because so many of them have been absolute dog water.
Yeah.
And this one is the closest we've got. And literally, it is from yesterday. We're recording this on April 1st, April Fools and all
Wow.
that. Yeah, I'm extremely fooled by the government's, language in support for human rights. Yet they can't condemn the single biggest terrorist nation on the planet right now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, April Fools, indeed.
Yeah, so I hope you guys listen to the language of the tweet I just read from our foreign minister because there was not a condemnation in there, just deep concern.
Just concern being expressed.
Sometimes I really get hung up about it, uptight, strung out.
In a bag.
Yeah, in a bag.
Concerning. It's like an Elon
Her brow
tweet.
was very furrowed. She was like,
Just think of the Elon reply. Concerning. But then, at long last, basically a few hours after Anita Anand's limp-ass statement, Carney finally did it. He condemned a move of the Israeli government. He
not
didn't-
Israel in general, just
not the
this one
government.
thing they did.
and not the prime minister, Satan Yahoo, but the specific action of invading another sovereign country, Lebanon,
Yeah.
and then stating publicly that they intended to annex it. So let us hear what our prime minister finally had the courage to say.
Right. It's an illegal invasion of Lebanon. It's a violation of their territorial sovereignty, integrity, and sovereignty. And the point I was making as well, from a practical perspective, the government of Lebanon has banned Hezbollah. It's taking action. Is trying to take action against Hezbollah and their terrorist activities and their threats to Israel, and that is the purported justification for this invasion. So we condemn it.
He doesn't know what to say, He
Yeah,
doesn't
his
know
handlers are
what ground to tread on there.
trying to figure out what language polls best with the Liberal Party base.
I believe the phrase "walking on eggshells"
or
is good
broken
description.
glass.
On
right?
broken glass. Yeah.
He's getting all bloody about it. It's not on his hands right now. It's on his feet mostly, but maybe it'll spread.
Yeah.
So that was an all right statement, I guess. It's certainly the strongest move we've seen from this
It's
government
something.
to condemn the Israeli terrorist regime that is going on right now. And we did read the last tweet where Anita Anand expressed deep concern about a law passed
She was really
in
worried.
Israel. And I believe we will get there in the rest of the world section, but just to briefly fill those in who may not know, Israel just passed a law in their Knesset, which is basically their parliament, which exclusively targets Palestinians for public hangings if they are convicted of an attack against an Israeli settler. Now, remember that Israeli settlers are illegal in the UN Charter. Israel is a UN member state. So if we lived in a world with laws that were applicable to all nations, Israel should have been condemned, booted out of the United Nations as soon as the first settler moved into the land that they did not have. So, yeah, it's almost like when you let someone so deeply evil and entitled get away with everything for decades, and then you say, could you stop? They don't. So maybe we need to boot the Israeli ambassador from Canada. Maybe we need to put sanctions on their whole terroristic regime. Every member of the government, every member of every family member of the people in the Israeli parliament, because, and this is true, Israel passed the first race-based death penalty law since Nazi Germany. So they are the Nazis.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see if our country can actually condemn the Nazis this time.
Right, here we got some good cuts coming courtesy of the NDP from Manitoba.
Yes, they're showing us the blueprint of what can be done.
Yes, CBC News from March 24th. Tax change expected to cost Manitoba $32 million per year to cut PST on all food items at grocery stores starting in July.
Yep, that's pretty exciting.
Yep, the provincial sales tax. Currently, Manitobans pay provincial sales tax on prepared food and drinks sold for immediate consumption, including rotisserie chickens, salads, a case of bubbly, all the stuff you're grabbing on the way home when you're in a rush and you got to try to put a meal on the table for the family.
Said Premier Wab Kinew in a social media post just ahead of the release of his NDP government's budget for this and next year.
This also includes food platters, baked goods, most beverages, and snack foods such as candy and potato chips. After our budget passes, assuming it passes by July 1st, that will all be tax-free.
That is how you provide instant relief to Canadians. Are you paying attention, Mark?
Mm. The PST will still apply to drinks with more than 1% alcohol, so any booze, dietary supplements, and taxable non-food items in grocery stores such as toilet paper and toothpaste, as well as pet food.
I'm definitely okay with the taxes still being charged for alcohol and, supplements and toilet paper.
Mm-hmm. Food and drinks considered basic groceries are already exempt from the tax in Manitoba, including fruits and vegetables, most meat and milk products, and eggs, coffee, and oil.
Any store within a city that is less than roughly 3,000 square feet in size and holds a license to sell tobacco products will not be exempt from the tax. Interesting little exemption there.
So does it have to meet both of these requirements, or just one or the other? That's what I want to know.
I think both. That's what I'm interpreting.
The tax will also remain in place at restaurants within grocery stores. So like a Burger King inside of a Walmart. Establishments licensed to serve alcohol, movie theaters, sporting events, and other live entertainment events. So if you get a bowl of popcorn at a movie theater, it'll still have the PST on it. It also includes vending machines, recreational facilities such as golf courses, curling clubs, and hunting and fishing lodges. So the tax is still going to stay there.
Well, sure. I think if they can afford to go to a hunting lodge, they could probably afford
they can
to
pay
tax.
Yeah.
Getting ready for a birthday party, you got to buy those cans of pop in the chips. That's part of every family's expense. Yeah, so it's good that it's tax-free, at least in Manitoba.
Ooh, British Columbia, which exempts food for human consumption from its provincial sales tax, did not see a significant spike in diabetes when it made the change.
Yes, we do not charge tax in BC for these prepared foods, I don't believe. Well, it's a bold move, as said here in the article, that will relieve some pressure on Manitobans at the grocery store. And I think perhaps other provinces should follow suit. I am reading directly from the article there. And it's a good start. I mean, Canadians are feeling this more than ever right now. And we just got to find ways to put money back in your pockets because we have less of it than ever. So good job, Wab Kinew, future Prime Minister of Canada.
Fingers crossed. Speaking of old Wap Kinew, we have a little soundbite here from a recent speech of his. I think he mentioned the Epstein class in our last episode, didn't he? We had a video clip of him.
Yeah.
So this is another one.
Those talking points perfectly.
Yeah.
This is from the NDP convention, which just happened in Manitoba.
Yeah. Let's see what he has to say.
Not a single Canadian should ever be put in harm's way to try and defend Donald Trump's foolish Iranian war. And I'll go a step further, and I'll say no American either. No American child from the blue collar or the middle class should have to die in Iran. Let the Epstein class fight the Epstein war.
Damn right.
Yep. Did you see one person on Twitter tried to like spin it to be like, when he says Epstein class, he's being anti-Semitic.
Oh, I can straight up name the person. I'll look dead in the camera and say Selena Robinson is a Zionist hog who got thrown out of the NDP caucus in BC for saying that Palestine was a crappy piece of land with nothing on it.
Oh, it was that bitch?
And she just hates Palestinians. I don't think that I've ever seen someone with as much bloodlust as Selena Robinson. She did not apologize for the comment because she thinks that Palestinian lives are worth less than dirt. And unfortunately, these sorts of toxic Zionist hogs took the comments that Wabkin you said here about the Epstein class, and they wrote a whole slew of crap articles in whatever shit, newspaper would print them to say that the Epstein class is a dog whistle for the Jews.
That's just telling on yourself.
It is just telling on yourself. It is. And I hope that Selena Robinson will book a flight to Tel Aviv and put herself in the front lines, because disgusting. We're living through another Holocaust. We're living through the most brutal regime that is in the world today with expansionist ideology. Look up the Greater Israel Project. It's on their uniforms. It's what their flag represents.
Yep.
But no, apparently you can't even call it the Epstein War without a bunch of Zionist hogs turning up their nose at you. And yes, I did take that language from Hassan Piker because it's true. And these people need to be called out. Zionism is not a religion. It's an ideology. They are not protected. Period. Nothing I said is anti-Semitic. Anyone equating Zionism with Judaism is anti-Semitic.
That is the anti-Semitism.
That is anti-Semitism. Yeah. No one has been a bigger purveyor of anti-Semitism in Canada than Selena Robinson and her inability to apologize for her dehumanizing language on the Palestinian people.
Absolutely
shame
disgusting.
on her, and shame on every single Zionist hog who is spinning Wabkinu's words to further Israel's narrative that anti-Semitism is prevalent in the West. Maybe we just don't want to condone your bloodlust anymore. Did you think about that? Did you think that maybe people in the West are tired of Israel blowing up schools and orphanages? Did you think about that? No, because apparently it's anti-Semitic to kill children. Or no, it's anti-Semitic to oppose killing children, just like Miss Rachel did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. So good for Wab. But the NDP convention was, a great place to get those sound bites.
Mm-hmm. There was some good shit.
Yes, our one of our NDP survivors from the last election here in the Vancouver area, Don Davies, who is the interim leader, or was, I guess, the interim leader at this time, also had a nice little soundbite here, which I will preface by saying that Don Davies was on the list last time, not the Epstein list, but he was on the list last episode of members of the Canadian government who went on sponsored trips to Israel. So I wasn't too thrilled with him last time, but he seems to have improved his language. So let's hear from Don Davies.
Now, before I go further, there is a little something I'd like to clear up arising from my speech at the press gallery dinner. I erroneously said when Prime Minister Carney played hockey that he was a goalie. I was mistaken. He's clearly a right winger.
Nice.
Woo!
Like standing O for that almost.
Buzzinga! Yeah, semi-standing ovation for that.
Even Abby Lewis is standing.
For the rest of my act, you'll have to catch it at Yuck Yucks next week in Vancouver.
Yeah, that was a very good one. He's the most, conservative liberal prime minister we've had, I think.
Oh yeah, he's a what is the term I've been seeing, like a small L liberal, or small C conservative kind of governing style. Yeah,
a big C liberal.
Yeah. Fiscally conservative,
economic, socially liberal, fiscally conservative.
The definition.
Well, it's like my politics when I was 21.
Yeah, well, you didn't get hardened into believing those things were the correct course for the entire globe at all those higher learning institutions that Carney attended, right?
Yeah.
Where you're only taught to defend capital at all costs, no matter what. So good job, Don Davies, a little bit. He had another statement where he was finally critical of Israel as well, but I don't have the clip here. So you'll just have to imagine that he said something against Israel.
Use your imagination.
Yeah. Or look it up on your own time.
Yeah.
It's both, terrible and rewarding to be on social media all the time. You see so much stuff, and I can't just, put every single tweet I see into the show. It would go on forever, and you would have the best time editing it.
Oh, man, I would die.
But anyway, Avi Lewis is the new leader of the NDP. I don't know if there's a splashy graphic for that. Congratulations. I bet there's something on their social media where they just put a picture of him, right? Like on the green back or on the orange background. I'm still green party brained. But Avi Lewis went on a couple interviews after his election to party leadership. And he is banging those talking points out just like the rest of them. So let's hear what he had to say on Power Play.
Yeah, this is about Canada Post, which we just talked about.
I was alluding to this.
We have shoved Canada Post so far into the market mindset that every few months we have a national conversation about why isn't Canada Post making money? Fashi, does the ambulance service make money? Do the police services make money? We're talking about a fundamental public service, and we are so soaked in the market mindset that we expect the post office to make money. It's a public service. It's not for making money. It's for delivering mail to Canadians as part of a fundamental public activity. And that's the mindset change that we need to make public corporations work. In the Second World War, the Minister of Everything, C.D. Howe, created 18 new crown corporations, and Canada played an unbelievable role in fighting fascism in Europe. We need a mission moment like that in Canada, and I think we can have one.
I think the mission moment is pretty clear that it's the U.S. aggression we need to be prepared for.
Yep.
But is our government the correct one to, give us the tools we need to resist American aggression?
Well, you saw all those cuts. Hopefully that money's going towards something, right?
Oh, you know what? This is also a story that we do not have here. But there is an ongoing Liberal Party gun buyback across Canada right now, and it is not getting very much interest. And I will just say, as someone who previously ran for office, I think that the way that Canada treats gun ownership is really ridiculous. We should be a lot more like Europe. We shouldn't be constantly changing our laws whenever there's a mass casualty event in the U.S. because we are not them and we can do things better. So, I would gladly vote for a party that was willing to have that tough conversation. And yeah, I would like to see what Avi Lewis thinks about that because, Canadians are not going to sell their guns back to the government. No,
it ain't happening.
No. So yay for Avi Lewis. Also shout out and rest in peace to his dad, who was the previous NDP leader, who literally passed away the day after he was elected NDP party leader. It was like he was holding on just for that, just like Jimmy Carter held on to vote for Kamala and then she lost. But he won. So good job for the Lewis dynasty. I saw some people, making comments that Canadian political dynasties are not really a good thing. And the voice I'm making
one of them
should be fairly obvious. JJ McCullough keeps running his mouth about NDP stuff. No one cares about what he has to say. He is a conservative shill, so he should just zip it.
He loves America, so fuck him.
Yeah.
He makes it very clear that he
Avi
loves
Lewis
America.
will hopefully be the breath of fresh air that will bring the NDP further to the left, be more progressive, and, just fill the time before Wab Kinew can be prime minister.
All right. Speaking of Canadian political leaders,
and speaking of people who will never be prime minister,
yes, let's look at one of our shitty leaders. Yay!
Yeah,
our good friend Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Yeah, Pee Pee Poo Poo Brain has been selling out like crazy over the last couple weeks. He had a meeting with famous Israeli billionaire Bill Ackman. Here's a tweet on screen. Thank you to Bill Ackman for meeting to discuss how to strengthen Canada-U.S. relations. Yes, nothing like having a meeting.
An Israeli guy.
Well, he's like American Israeli, but he's like a huge APAC contributor. But nothing like discussing how to strengthen Canada-U.S. relations with the leader of the opposition and some random fuck-ass rich dude who's not in government.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? What are you literally talking about?
Yeah, what is this going to accomplish?
I know what they're talking about. I should have finished the tweet. Bring affordability and opportunity with tariff-free trade and
stamp out anti-Semitism in the West.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Seriously. the anti-Semitism in the West thing is getting so old to me. I hope that there will be a podcast that pops up in like maybe response to our woke in the West that's called anti-Semitism in the West, and they're just like, no,
they just go all out.
I bet
with
Bill
it.
Ackman would fund the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
No, so this is just gross. Pee Poo Poo has been rubbing shoulders with the worst people stateside because I think he's trying to angle himself to be like appointed governor of Canada after the U.S. invades and, kills all of our leaders because they don't want to have the people that Canadians actually voted for running this country. I think that if the U.S. invade, they will just anoint Pierre.
Yeah, the people in the comments are not happy about this. So now Poilievre is meeting with MAGA hedge fund billionaires whose wife is actually in the Epstein files. Pierre fighting for the middle class with the Zionist masters. A lot of angry people on the left and right here in the comments.
It was a 1-2 punch for Pee Poo Poo in the last couple weeks because first the Bill Ackman, meeting went over like a lead balloon.
Yep.
And then pretty much the day after or the day before, check out this tweet.
Oh, man.
Pee Poo Poo with Joe Rogan.
With Rogan? With Jogan?
Fought for Canadian workers and Canadian interests on the world's biggest podcast. Thank you, Joe Rogan, for an amazing conversation. Let's get tariff-free trade.
Oh
He's not in government.
Yeah,
what
is this going to do? This is not going to do anything.
Time.
He's a talking head. A big, round, fucking bald
The
talking
question
head.
is, do you think that this is going to lose Pierre as many voters as when he said women's biological clocks are running out? Because this is reaching the same people that would be interested in that sort of
If
comment.
he had done this like 2 years ago in 2024, this would have garnered him like a huge boost.
I don't think so.
No?
I think that the people that listen to Joe Rogan fit basically one archetype. There's a lot of, young men who are too dumb to Google things. And those young men are the same people who hear Pierre say that women have a biological clock that's running out. And they're like, hell yeah, he's right. No one is being persuaded by this. No one is being convinced that the conservatives have ideas that can govern this country because he went on Joe Rogan, a guy who does not have a spot in government, and they just yapped for like 3 hours. Like the only thing, and Pierre, I really hope you're listening to this. I'm giving you free advice right now. I'm not going to watch your interview with Jogan.
No.
So maybe you did this, but the only thing you could do to get the smallest possible reading on the coolness factor was if you sparked up a fat joint on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, he will never do that.
And he did not. I have not seen it. I'm not going to check, but I'm pretty sure he did not because look at him. He showed up in this suit like he's going to debate Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Fucking loser.
Also, I love this picture because like Joe Rogan's holding up this kettlebell, right? Like he's clearly like holding it here,
two hands.
Here. And then Pierre is just like, meh. He's just got one hand
Pierre's
on
like,
it.
oh, let me make sure my hand's on there too for the
I'm
photo.
helping.
I don't want to seem weak.
Wow, look at
unmanly.
me. I helped Joe Rogan hold up this heavy kettlebell. Wow, I'm such a man.
Like if Pierre had showed up in like a t-shirt.
Yeah, anything
with a joint.
get an Axe the Tax t-shirt. Yeah. That would have been better than this fucking monkey
stuffy suit.
Yeah, look at Joe.
About?
He's got like a button-up shirt. He's got a watch. Like he looks like semi-casual.
Joe's there to have fun, and Pierre thinks that this is going to win him the election that's not going to be called for 4 years.
The election that just happened last year.
Yeah,
that he lost. He thinks he's going to win it.
So pathetic and dumb.
Yeah.
Everyone, give it up for our pathetic and dumb poo-poo Conservative Party leader.
But wait, there's more.
It gets worse. Because yesterday, Pee Poo Poo opened his mouth, the Pee Poo hole, and said that the Conservatives oppose the $90 billion train from Toronto to Quebec City. And let's just hear what he has to say. Because, the Conservatives claim that they have big ideas, but I mean, he seems pretty scared.
Whenever a big idea comes along, they always seem to pee-poo it.
I'm announcing today that Conservatives oppose the $90 billion Liberal Alto train, that we call on the Carney Liberals to cancel it, and I am confirming that a future Conservative government will cancel this $90 billion boondoggle altogether. We will save Canadians $90 billion or $8,000 per family. We will use the savings to lower debt, taxes, and inflation. We will lower the cost of government to lower the cost of living. We will greenlight projects that pay for themselves. projects that make money rather than taking money. We will unblock resources, greenlight pipelines, ports, mines, mills, and other wildly profitable private sector projects that pay taxes in to fund healthcare, education, and other essential services rather than taking money out. We will make Canada affordable at home, safe at home, and strong at home.
Okay, fuckwad. There's no such thing as a project that pays for itself. And what do you mean taking money out? If you are building infrastructure for Canadians to relieve road congestion, you are contributing to the economic potential of the area. Like, he is so fucking stupid.
Call me crazy.
Believe that they voted to make him party leader again.
Yeah. Call me crazy, but I think linking provinces together with the train is a good thing.
Call me crazy, but Canada is the only country in the G7 without any form of high-speed rail.
Yeah. And whenever a cool project like this comes around, of course, who fucking shits on it immediately? The Conservatives.
Call me crazy.
Nothing cool.
I ran for office last year, in case y'all didn't know. And so I actually have familiarity with the party platforms, and I'm fairly certain that the Conservative platform actually says that we support a high-speed train line.
Well, he just doesn't like it because the Liberals are doing it.
He doesn't like it that the Liberals get to take credit for it. Absolutely. Yeah. And that goes to show you, and every voter in this country, that the Conservatives don't believe in anything except disagreeing with the party in power. They do not have any ideas. They do not deserve your vote in any future elections. Period.
Yeah. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. If you're a Conservative, you're literally better off voting for the Liberals. I'm not even kidding.
If you're a Conservative, you're better off walking into the ocean.
That too. So first of all, apparently there was a moon launch thing that happened today.
Yeah,
who fucking cares?
Yeah,
who gives a shit?
I mean, the moon isn't a part of Earth, so it doesn't fit in with the rest of the world section.
So much shit going on this little pale blue dot.
We don't have an outside of the world section.
Yeah,
and this is an American launch. And,
who cares? There's so much more shit going on. Whoa, we're going back to the moon. Whoop-de frickin' do.
Yeah, nothing like reliving a success from 60 years ago.
Meanwhile, Israel votes to execute publicly Palestinian people.
Yes,
Yay!
Death by hanging.
But at least we're going back to the moon. Ugh.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So Israel is officially embracing their label as a genocidal ethno-state. Because, as I said in the earlier segment, they just passed a race-based law specifically targeting Palestinians, which is illegal and against the UN Charter of Rights and Freedoms and against human rights and Geneva Conventions and yada, 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 all things that would matter if we had a world that cared, but we don't. So check out this dehumanizingly evil vote in the Israeli Knesset.
62 in favor, 48 against, 1 abstention.
And they are speaking Hebrew, and there's no translation, so I'm talking over it. But if you're watching this video, just look at the glee on their faces.
התקבלה בקריאה השנייה והשלישית, והחוק ייכנס לספר החוקים של מדינת ישראל. שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
You can tell in her tone that she is so happy.
Yeah, she's hyped.
Yeah. Zionist Israelis love nothing more than to kill Palestinians.
Does this mean they're going to execute children in public and stuff too?
Yes, children are always convicted. The Palestinian courts, they use military courts to try Palestinians. They do not try Israelis in those courts, period. And they have a conviction rate of 98%.
Wow.
Yeah. They are basically just, kangaroo courts.
Here they are celebrating.
Yes. This video I have included here because, for our YouTube audience anyway, please look at the pin on the lapel of these politicians in Israel who are celebrating, literally popping champagne at the idea of killing and hanging Palestinians in public for resisting their illegal occupation and settler violence. Ben-Gvir is pouring champagne with a gold noose pinned to his suit.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see in this video, but they've all got little nooses.
All got gold little nooses. It reminds me of when the some American politicians had the gold AR-15 pins, but obviously they weren't wearing them because they were passing a law to like use AR-15s on Mexicans. Like that wasn't why they had them. But the only reason to wear a mini noose pin here is because you are in favor of publicly hanging Palestinians and making an example out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, you know, in the fucking demented Zionist hog brains, they think that if you kill enough people publicly, that it'll deter others from like wanting to do stuff. But I think history has shown that that is never the case.
Nope.
No. And there's a good tweet. Maybe you'll be able to find it and add it here. But it's like, and I'm going to just say it from like first person perspective memory. But the person's like, you know, like I'm not in Hamas, but if the IDF killed my father or whatever, killed my family, the first thing I would do is start Hamas too. Like that's like, you don't stop people from wanting to resist you by killing the people that resist you, especially when everything that Israel has done in regards to the settler invasion is illegal, profoundly illegal in every developed country or every country that signs on to the UN Charter. We understand that it's illegal, but yet no one does anything. And so they get to act with impunity. Disgusting. The only place that Ben-Gvir belongs is The Hague.
Mm-hmm.
But some other world leaders have taken brave steps, certainly a lot braver than Mark Carney and his tepid condemnation of the terrorist regime in Israel. Pedro Sanchez from Spain with a really great statement here.
In the early hours of yesterday, a new red line was crossed in Lebanon. A UN blue helmet was killed in this attack, and 3 others were injured. Spain strongly condemns these events. It demands that the origin of the projectile be clarified, and it calls on the Israeli government to halt the hostilities. Attacks on UN peacekeeping missions are unjustifiable aggression against the entire international community. We also extend our sincere condolences to the family of the fallen soldier and to all UNIFIL personnel. Way better than Mark Carney's.
Yes.
We condemn it, I guess.
We condemn that.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Just that. Yeah. And recently as well, Spain has denied access of their like airspace and whatnot to Israeli and American planes, I believe. So good on Spain for being the only country in Europe with a goddamn spine.
You know things are bad when you're getting upstaged by the fascist prime minister of Italy as well.
Yes, as well. Yeah, the fascist prime minister of Italy, Meloni, has put out a statement as well.
I accuse Israel of crossing the red line. I condemn the massacre of Palestinian civilians, and I announce that Italy will support European sanctions against Israel.
So she's saying that if the European Union can agree to put sanctions on Israel, Italy will sign on, but she is not saying that Italy independently will do any action against Israel. That's why Spain still gets the award for best country in Europe in regards to their treatment of the Zionist hogs.
This is still better than what Mark Carney said, by the way.
Yes, still significantly better.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to play this video because it's probably in Italian and it's like a minute long, but this is basically what she said.
Yep. So good on her for standing on the right side of history on this one.
Yeah, she's still a fascist bitch, though.
Yeah, she's
Fuck
still
her.
a fascist.
But she's right here.
There was a referendum in Italy the other week that failed. It was one of her babies. So there has been pushback against her, at least in Italy, which is good. But yeah, there's been so many strikes in Italy about the Israeli regime lately. So she probably was feeling the pressure too.
So here we have a little tweet describing the pushback if you decide to speak up against Israel.
The consequences.
Yes. French judge Nicolas Goyot, who issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu at the ICC, had Visa and MasterCard blocked. He can't make any purchases. He's a judge, yet treated like a criminal. Judges, lawyers, and politicians are being intimidated. A colleague told him that his name won't be removed from the blacklist until Trump's term ends. Despite intervention by the French president, U.S. authorities have not responded.
Yes, and there are many such stories like this right now coming out of people tied with the ICC or folks just openly condemning Israel. And this is primarily happening to those from Germany and France, from what I can tell. Probably Spain as well, but I haven't seen as many.
Yeah, I'm also guessing that this video clip is in French, so we're not going to play it. But yeah, that's basically what he said.
And it's
getting fucked over because speaking out against Israel.
Yeah, and like when you know the conspiracy brained folks that are very like peddling in the true anti-Semitism, they make comments like, there's a cabal of elites running the world and all this stuff. And we don't want to believe it. But when the consequences for speaking out against this regime are a complete blacklisting by, the economic institutions that govern the world, is it just Israel? Is it the US? Are they working in tandem? They are working in tandem to punish people. So, yeah, I mean, this is why the rest of the world now has to like collectively unify against the US and Israel. We have to build new financial systems that are not reliant on subservience to the US regime, imperialist pigs that they are.
Yeah.
Because they will flex that economic might. And, for as long as they have it still, given the way things are going for them in Iran.
Not much longer.
No, so they're going to do this as much as they can in the last, gasps of the war.
Yeah. I'm just worried that they'll lash out at us in the last gasp,
Well, that's why I think that they will invade. Like that's like the last gasp that the American, like they're going to get chased out of Iran. Like a lot of people are saying, and like Hassan Piker is saying, that it seems like Trump is getting ready to withdraw. Like they're like, oh, we're going to be out in a week or two. Like, they kept delaying it and yada, yada, yada. But it's increasingly clear to people familiar with how the U.S. works militarily that they are losing. They have had planes shot down. The losses incurred by the U.S. are in the billions, and Iran is just kind of like shrugging it off and throw in another $20,000 drone in their direction to get shot down with a $5 million missile. So in terms of pure economics, Iran is winning this war.
Yep, absolutely. Good on them. Oh, finally, some consequences for
Israeli
Israel.
Racism enters the mainstream. Weeks before the World Cup begins, FIFA fines the Israel FA, citing racism and multiple discrimination breaches.
From my boys at Al Jazeera.
Yes, Al Jazeera is
clutch.
the best outlet for news regarding the Middle East right now.
Following Palestine allegations, FIFA clears Israeli settlement clubs, but fines Israel FA for discrimination breaches.
Let's get down and read the exact things they were fined for. Supporters have engaged in persistent and well-documented racist behavior, the report said of Beitar fans. It's Israeli club Beitar is the one that was fined specifically. The club's use of slogans such as "Forever Pure" and the repeated chanting of ethnic slurs such as "terrorist" directed at Arab players are not isolated incidents, but rather form a part of systemic pattern of conduct that offends the basic rules of decent behavior and brings the sport into disrepute. So there you go. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. Israel is an ethno-state who does not believe anyone else's life on the planet is worth as much as their own. And that's why it's so baked into the Israeli Zionist society that they can chant things like "Forever Pure." Like, in any other circumstance, that wouldn't be okay.
That is literally something the Nazis would do.
They are Nazis. Zionists are Nazis. Every member of the Israel FA and those football clubs that were chanting those racist slogans, they are Nazis. If you believe in racial supremacy, you are a Nazi. That's just how it is. Yeah. So Zionist Nazis are real. They can say, oh, well, we survived the Holocaust, and therefore we can't be Nazis.
Therefore, we can do our own Holocaust.
Yeah. There's a great post from Mehdi Hassan, who said, just remember that nothing justifies October 7th, but October 7th justifies everything. That is the approach of the Israeli government right now. They're like, this unspeakable tragedy. So therefore we can kill and do whatever we want indiscriminately in the region and just destroy everything. So I just wanted to highlight this specific story because it's so delicious and delightful that Israel and their racism have been given even the smallest of financial consequences. It's so rare to see. So thank you, FIFA, for doing one thing right.
FIFA's also evil. For the
FIFA
record.
is also pretty evil.
Yeah. John Oliver has a really good segment on how evil FIFA is.
Anyway, back to the evil of the Israeli regime. This is posted in alicia.org. I'm not really familiar with this website, but it was hard to find a really good source on this story. the last weekend, I think it was last weekend, there's been a few holy days for Christians around the world. Ash Wednesday, Palm Sunday, all these sorts of things. Good Friday, Easter is coming up this weekend. So this is a really like holy period for people of that faith. And one of the things they do is hold mass in the Holy Sepulchre, which is in Jerusalem, and which is presided over by friend and fan of the show, Pier Battista Pizzaballa. And so for those who have been watching from the beginning, when there was a new pope being elected, you remember that we were very much on Team Pier Battista Pizzaballa. And during these ongoing Israeli hostilities to protect people, allegedly, Satan Yahoo closed the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Now, this probably
kept all the synagogues open.
Yes, all the Zionist services remain in order, but for other faiths, not so much. So this is just a little article about it here. Basically, it's saying that there hasn't been a closure of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in decades, hundreds of years. For the first time in living memory, liturgies have stopped inside the basilica for weeks. The sanctuary normally hosts a near continuous rhythm of prayer led by the three communities that share custody of the church: Greek Orthodox, Armenian Apostolic, and Roman Catholic. On Monday afternoon local time, Israeli police reported sites in the old city of Jerusalem were hit by fragments, including in the vicinity of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The church wasn't hit. There were just fragments nearby. Yeah, the closure comes at a particularly sensitive moment in the Christian calendar. Lent, the season of preparation for Easter, has traditionally drawn pilgrims to Jerusalem from around the world. Now, those century-old practices have been abruptly interrupted. Church leaders in the Holy Land say the situation is unprecedented in duration. Even during past wars and periods of tension, worship at the site continued in some form. Restrictions during the pandemic limited pilgrimages, but clergy were still able to celebrate liturgies inside the church. The uncertainty now raises concerns about the coming celebrations of Holy Week and Easter, which I just mentioned. So, yeah, it's basically unprecedented in living memory for this site to be just completely closed. And to blame it on the Israeli war is bullshit. It is just another reason to keep out non-Jews. And I hate to say it like that, but that's what the intention is.
Yep.
Because we know that Israel has been killing Armenians and the other Orthodox faiths that live in Jerusalem. The goal of Israel and the Zionist policies is to kill everyone that is not a believer in their faith.
Yeah.
Period. And
absolutely. Yeah. Also, I just want to say that Netanyahu reneged on this recently.
Yeah, he caved.
Yeah, he caved to the pressure.
I don't have that statement
here. It is now
here,
open.
But yes, he did cave, and that was so good.
And I also want to say real quick before we close this article, there's a little addendum here at the end that kind of echoes your sentiment about Jerusalem, which I found kind of interesting. Vatican wants the Holy City to have special status. As part of the Vatican's call for a two-state solution in order to halt the conflicts in the Middle East, it supports a special status for the city of Jerusalem, which is what you've been saying the whole time.
I have been calling for Jerusalem to be a holy city-state like the Vatican for basically as long as I've cared about this issue.
Well, basically, the Vatican is on your side officially.
I have, we have talked a little bit about our, political past, but in terms of, religiosity, I did grow up going to catechism, I got baptized, confirmed, all that nonsense, but I am very much a non-believer, atheist type
I got
person
circumcised.
Now. Well, that
Yay.
Not for religious reasons, but so for me, I have been to the Vatican and I didn't explode into flames. So there is no God. But in this specific instance, the sites in Jerusalem are just important to global history. There's billions of people around the world care about the sites in Jerusalem, and so they need to be protected.
Yep.
If it is allowed to be subsumed by the Zionist Nazi regime in Israel right now, their goal is to destroy the Alaska Mosque and rebuild the Third Temple and start what they believe to be the end of the world. So the safety and sanctuary that Jerusalem provides cannot be entrusted in Israel at this time or ever. It is not possible. Jerusalem must become its own city-state, its own holy site, governed by maybe the United Nations, peacekeepers. I can't see a better way to get the Arabs and the Christians and even the really, what do they call it? I'm forgetting the word for the really
Orthodox?
The Orthodox, Jewish folks. this is the thing to get them all together. I mean, the Hindus are still not involved,
A lot of the
but,
Orthodox Jews hate Israel, just for the just for the record.
And that's exactly it, is that they know that the city of Jerusalem and what it represents is so much more than the land-grabbing ambitions of their evil prime minister, Netanyahu, right now.
Mhm.
They understand, and I understand, how important this site is. And we've seen a lot of reports, even from this war, where Israel is blowing up holy sites and historical sites across Iran as well, because their goal is just to erase history. And we can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
The world needs to stand up and care about this. I am so glad that the Vatican has made a statement about this.
I just want to read this because I do find it kind of fascinating. This is Archbishop Katia, now the Pope's representative to the USA. He said this at the United Nations in 2025. So they've had this position for a while now. Jerusalem is a city of universal religious and cultural significance. It's sacred to Christians, Jews, and Muslims alike. Therefore, it requires a status that transcends political divisions and ensures the preservation of its unique identity. To this end, the Holy See reiterates its long-standing call for an internationally guaranteed special statute capable of ensuring the dignity and rights of all its inhabitants and the faithful of all three monotheistic religions, the equality before the law of their institutions and communities, safeguarding the city's sacred character and exceptional religious and cultural heritage. Furthermore, it must ensure the protection of the holy places, guarantee the unhindered right to access them and to worship there. It must also preserve the status quo where applicable. In Jerusalem, no one should be subjected to harassment. Therefore, it is regrettable that Christians feel increasingly threatened in the old city of Jerusalem.
That's crazy. Christians feel threatened? I could have sworn that the Secretary of War Defense, Pete Kegsbreath, said that he's doing this war on Iran for Jesus and for Christianity all over the world.
Yeah.
But it seems like if he actually gave a shit, then he would also support making Jerusalem a holy city so that everyone has the access to it.
Yeah, just don't show your face in old Jerusalem. Don't show your face around these pots.
Wow,
That's for us, not you.
I'm just so happy that this is a statement that they've put out.
Did you know that the
did not
Vatican
know.
officially holds this belief, like shares your belief?
No, or at least not that they have reiterated it recently.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good. Oh, man, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, good on them. Oh, God.
Back to
crap.
crap.
Here's some bad news.
You remember the country that Canada has been giving billions to aid its war effort? Not Israel, the other one. Do you remember the other one?
Ukraine?
Yeah, Slava Ukraine, right? So Zelensky, I guess the war is over in Ukraine. I guess they won? Question mark? Because
maybe?
Zelensky has now pledged to support Netanyahu.
Oh, no.
And do whatever he needs. Yeah. And he's ready to help
This
in
is
Iran.
like the prime minister of Palestine or whatever being like, I like Putin.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
It's deeply pathetic and glazing.
Have you spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu since the beginning of the war?
No, we didn't speak. The Israeli team connected with us and said, what about to speak with Prime Minister? My team said, yes, we're ready.
What will be your message to the Prime Minister when you speak?
He has what I need, and I have what he needs. So I'm ready for this dialogue. I think important dialogue.
This is I-24 news, so I'm guessing this is an Israeli news.
I don't know. I the guy sounded British to me, so I'm not going to infer anything.
I don't know. But yeah, this is not a good look for you, Zelensky. Come on, bro.
No. And like people like my rich racist uncle are very much like, we should stop giving money to Ukraine. And if Ukraine is going to throw their weight behind Israel, then unfortunately I have to get on board.
Yeah. You should tell him that. You should be like, now that I know they're planning on helping Israel, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, time to cut them off, guys. The gravy train ends here. And that's too bad because I really don't want Russia to take whatever they want from you guys. But Israel's willing to take whatever they want from everyone that they're attacking. So, back to Israel stuff. But this time with a bit more of an America focus. Well, we're in America for this. Joe Kent resigned from the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. And he put out a brutal statement. This made a lot of headlines when it happened because people don't just resign from the National Counterterrorism Force. And this guy was handpicked by Trump. And this statement has been slandered as being anti-Semitic and conspiratorial.
Course it has.
But when you hear what he said, you're really going to understand why. We're not going to read it all.
Okay.
But
I was getting ready to read it all.
But like, we'll read the select parts. President Trump. After much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. He was a director. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I liked this paragraph. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. There was a clear path to swift victory. And this actually addendum has been confirmed by Marco Rubio, who basically said that Israel said, if you don't join us, we'll just do it without you. And they've been saying that to every president for like the last 30 years. It's just Trump's the only guy dumb enough to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the paragraph. This was a lie and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again.
Whoa. Israel drew America into Iraq as well? I did not know that.
This guy is making some big accusation, and it goes on. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives.
Wow.
It was an honor to serve in your administration.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so don't forget that this guy is still like a hog like the rest of them, but he's just not a fan of Israel, which is becoming the wedge issue that is going to divide all of the West, basically, in the next few years. And the question is, which political folks are going to be able to get on the right side and the wrong side of the issue? Are you going to be pathetic like Gavin Newsom and apologize for calling Israel a genocidal state? Or are you going to go the Tucker Carlson direction and actually have those conversations, even though you're, dressing up your actual anti-Semitism?
You done fucked up really bad when Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are more based on a subject than you are.
Yeah.
You done fucked up real bad.
Unfortunately, if our progressive voices don't get their shit together in all basically getting on this same page, then we are looking at a future where like Tucker Carlson becomes a president because he's the only guy willing to actually say this stuff.
And we don't want that. I don't want Tucker Carlson as president.
I don't want Gavin Newsom as president either.
No.
I was so floored when this statement came out.
Yeah, this is pretty fucking heavy,
It is
man.
brutal. But we are not done yet.
Oh, God.
No, the humiliation continues for the Trump regime. Taco was the thing people used to say, right? Trump always chickens out. And
is that what that means?
That is
I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah. And so now we have some funny clips. This is literally from today. So Trump gave a bullshit State of the Union today. We'll call it his April Fool's speech because he fooled the American public into thinking he could do a good job. And today, he just couldn't help himself from going in front of the cameras, even before his State of the Union. So he had a couple gaffes today, but we're only going to highlight two here. But first, this one.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing.
But you were doing it on a federal basis. It was being done.
Yeah, he doesn't know how anything works. He's an idiot. And also Medicare, Medicaid, those are things that are like federal. And you promised on the campaign trail that you weren't going to touch them, right? Oh, but Americans are just so fucking stupid that they just don't remember that Republicans lie constantly.
All the time.
And I know I always say like, oh, are you going to have a clip? But like, I remember the campaign period. He was asked specifically, do you have a plan for childcare? Do you remember that? He was like, so childcare. So we're going to take care of childcare. We're really rich. Like it was just a bunch of bullshit, and people still voted for him. And so now here he is on stage saying, well, we can't afford to,
too
help
hard.
children or help people that are sick because we have all these wars to fight. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I said I would get elected on no new wars, but now we have all these wars and we can't spend any money at home, right?
We can't save children. We're too busy blowing up other children.
Can you imagine if a country stopped spending its money on weapons and took care of its people?
Whoa.
Well, actually, former senator and now Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
Little Rubio.
He can imagine that.
Whoa.
He can imagine a country not dumping its money into endless wars and weapons. He can imagine it.
He had a dim light bulb moment here.
But just not for America.
And at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So we are always hopeful that that would exist.
Well, imagine in America, instead of spending billions on weapons and terrorism, they help their people.
No,
it would be a whole different country.
In America, though. Only Iran.
We can't have Medicaid in America. We can't have daycare in America.
We can't do anything good in America.
We're spending money on all these bombs and all this terrorism, but imagine if Iran didn't spend all that money.
How can we cure cancer if all of our money is being used to blow up hospitals?
It just can't be done.
They can't develop the cure for cancer if there's no hospital.
The cognitive dissonance is so real.
Hey, Americans, you feel like doing anything yet, or are you going to go out in the streets and dance in frog costumes?
Get your gun.
Listen to Marilyn Manson.
Get your gun.
Yeah, this is a song quote and not a threat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, I just don't know what to say. Americans are just not capable of, like, critical thought. They can't, consume this language and think, yeah, what if our country did that? God, guys.
No, they just don't have the capacity to reflect like that.
Do something.
Do something. Do something. Do something.
Oh, here we go, Trump again.
So
Tonight I'm making a
I
little
did
speech.
watch
Tonight I'm
Trump's
making a little
full
speech.
April Fool's speech today, and he really didn't say anything. He said Barack Hussein Obama. He said there was no inflation. That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
He said the stock market is still at record highs, which it's not.
The Dow!
And in case anyone's curious, I know I usually say this at the start of the show. Oil is now at $105 a barrel, or just slightly below. Are you paying more at the pump? You can thank this man right here. But hold on. He's your favorite president, right?
Tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock. And basically I'm gonna tell everybody how great I am. Tonight.
Tell everyone how awesome I am.
It really
Best
didn't
president.
seem like a good speech. Like, I know you don't need to waste your time with it, but
watching that
like,
shit.
I'm the one who keeps punishing myself by watching his live addresses, and they are just not good. He's not saying anything. He's not announcing anything. Like, in my lifetime, I didn't really pay that much attention to presidential addresses. I think we all know the most famous one from our lifetimes, which was when Barack Obama went and announced that they'd killed what's his face?
Fucking Osama. Obama killed Osama?
Yeah, when Osama Babama.
Osama Obama?
When Obama bombed Osama.
When Angawa Simba?
But, like, we remember that, right? Like, that was an actual
I do remember
significant moment in history. It seemed like the only reason Trump did this speech today was because it's April Fool's and he wanted to steal some ratings from Survivor, which was on airing at the same time that he did his speech at 9 p.m. Eastern.
We made sure to watch Survivor on a Canadian network so we wouldn't get interrupted
no
by
interruptions.
this fucking Cheeto in chief.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like CBS is an entirely non-biased station now anyway, right? So, like, they're more than happy to air his full remarks, even when he has nothing to say. But sometimes, I find this to be true, when you let stupid people talk long enough, they will actually say something insightful or revealing, such as, I don't know, potentially giving the game away about the U.S.'s next illegal invasion.
And Cuba's next, by the way, but pretend I didn't say that, please. Pretend I didn't say that. Please, media, please disregard that statement. Thank you very much.
Pretend I didn't say that. Cuba's next, but pretend I didn't
A few
say
weeks
that.
ago, he said that he would be the president that had the privilege of taking Cuba. And so this is just from 4 days ago where he said, Cuba's next. Pretend I didn't say that. So the question is really when. We know that Cuba is being strangled right now by another war crime, which is collective punishment in this illegal American blockade of Cuba. Not an oil tanker has gotten in there either. In the last few weeks, they're losing power. I'm sure some of you have read stories that like nurses are hand pumping ventilators to keep people alive in the hospitals because they are out of power. There's no way to power the grid there or enough. Like they are oil dependent. And a lot of the nations that sold them oil previously, like Mexico, are just acquiescing to American terrorist demands to not engage with business. But what America is doing is illegal, plain and simple, to Cuba.
This is a good sign.
Oh, yes. The Army, the United States Army, has raised enlistment age to 42 from 35.
And eases marijuana restrictions. So if you've got a past bust for weed, doesn't matter
Only
anymore.
a single
Uncle Sam still wants you, baby.
Yeah, if they're looking to take 42-year-old potheads, then you know
shit's going down.
That shit is about to get extremely bad.
Yep.
And I know if anyone here watching the show is a fan of Professor Zhang, he has made the prediction that they will bring the draft back. I don't know if I've said that on this show yet, but I believe that the U.S. is going to bring the draft back for the stupid Iran war. I think whatever he's doing in the next week or two could go so badly that we see the draft instated by potentially the end of April. But I'm not willing to stake my career on my predictions quite as much as Professor Zhang is. And also, what career?
Yeah, right.
So I guess I could say anything I want.
Yeah, but this is definitely not a good sign.
I was told by a friend that the draft actually had an age cap of 27. I don't know how the draft exactly works in the U.S., like if it needs to be approved by Congress or what if they like set a different parameter each time.
Well, it says here the limit's 35 on this article.
that's like your own enrollment. Like if you walk into the military office and say, I want to serve, then you can be up to 42. But at least in Nam, the time of the Vietnam War, the draft max age was 27.
I see.
So I don't know if they have to change that every time they do a draft, but can you guys just imagine a U.S. draft including everyone 42 and under? Like 18 to 42.
It's a lot of fucking
like 42-year-olds, what year would they have been born if they're going now, right? That would be 84. Yeah. Wow. So that like the first wave of millennials are going to go diner on for Israel if there's a draft.
Yeah.
Just remember, though, you can get out of it if you get arrested twice for marijuana. Because a single conviction...
So smoke up.
It's fine. Yeah. Toke up. How I like this in the article. However, older recruits were less likely to graduate from basic training and had higher attrition rates. So, yeah, they're desperate. Oh, I even saw Pete Kegsbreath was inviting those who left the military for refusing the COVID shot to come back. So they're really just scraping the bottle of the barrel. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I said bottle because I'm thinking of Pete Kegsbreath.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's had slips like that many a time. God, have you seen his stupid like religious sermons to the troops in the last few weeks?
God, no.
He's making it a holy war. Pope Leo keeps having to be like, Jesus doesn't support war. Stop it. But he won't excommunicate him. So I'm looking directly into the camera, office style. Once again, Pope Leo, thank you for saying that the city of Jerusalem should be a holy site like the Vatican. Could you please excommunicate Pete Kegsbreath, J.D. Vance,
the whole administration, really.
Every single fucking member of this disgusting, bloodlust-hungry administration? Excommunicate them from the fucking church. You don't have to excommunicate me because I gave up my, Christian card a long time ago. But like, I respect you, man. Please, if you are the true vessel of God, excommunicate these motherfuckers and condemn them to hell. That is what that means, right?
Yep.
So this is my challenge to you. Consider it your Lent challenge, I guess.
So the Philippines, we're getting a little taste of what's going to start happening all around the globe very soon here. The Philippines declare a national energy emergency.
A week ago today.
Yep. So it's only worse. Declared just hours after the country's energy secretary said the Philippines planned to boost the output of its coal-fired power plants to keep electricity costs down as the war wreaks havoc with gas shipments.
Yep. If we thought the environment and climate change wasn't bad enough, just wait for all the countries that have these coal plants that have been just sitting or being shut down. Like unused for years. They're all being turned back on now because the oil isn't flowing. And the Philippines is the first country to really get that point across. Bear in mind, most of the oil consumed by East Asian, South Asian nations comes through the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, China, the Philippines, Vietnam. It's a ridiculous list. India.
Yep.
And that has run dry now, unless, of course, you pay the fine in Chinese yuan, which, I mean, hey, why not do that?
Let's get that ball rolling. Huh? Let's do that conversion.
This closure of the Strait of Hormuz is going to have repercussions that we feel all year. So much goes through the strait. Even like helium goes through the strait. So your party balloons are going to be more expensive. You won't even be able to turn the lights on at your party with no balloons because there's no energy and no helium and no cake either because the food is way more expensive. So yes, get ready for this. Leaning on coal. 60% of its electricity generation is coming from coal.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Energy Secretary Sharon Garren told reporters that the cost of liquefied natural gas is soaring, so the country would temporarily be forced to lean even more heavily on coal. It's already at 60%, and they're going to have to raise it even more because of this.
We're going to see like global smog, I think, because coal is so dirty. I mean, I can't say that like oil energy generation is necessarily all that cleaner, but at least mentally, the image that just like coal just completely clogs up the air, it feels a lot more poignant. That tends to be the image people have in their heads. You know, no one thinks of like smog clouds from oil, but people picture smog clouds from like coal burning. So, yeah, it is about to get a lot worse. There's been European nations that are sending their government workers to work from home so that they're spending less to drive to and from work. I saw... I forget who it was, but someone on British TV said that the last tanker of jet fuel into the United Kingdom docked today with no plans for another one.
That's it. Yeah.
So really, if you didn't think it could get worse, well, have you been alive so far this year?
What's going on in the rest of the world? Shit.
Yeah, the rest of the world's all falling to pieces, and we're still waiting for the people to rise up.
Rob Schneider was a failing actor and comedian until one day his favorite president decided to invade Iran. Now he's about to find out that the best way to stay in the public consciousness is to spout some bullshit about bringing the draft back. Rated PG-13.
Yeah, I found this story especially funny and perfect to lead off our right-wing trash section with an idiot that doesn't know anything. Rob Schneider in this case. I was talking to an American friend of mine who really firmly believes that there will not be a draft. Or I was talking to them the day before this article came out. And so I, just like I have been repeatedly since I got off the Kamala Harris hope wagon, by betting on the absolute worst things you can imagine for the human race to be continually proven correct. So yeah, Rob Schneider opened his mouth to say that the U.S. must restore the military draft.
You must.
But I don't see him rushing to enlist. Weird. No. Weird that he would not want to enlist, but he wants to sign up us and your children.
Well, he's important. He's a comedian. Comedians are important.
Yes.
You don't want Rob Schneider to die on the front lines of Iran, do you? I mean, I would love to see
I think that'd be funny. He should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
He should shoot
Rated PG-13.
In the field, you could say. He could get shot in the field.
Whoa, just like George Lucas wanted to do with Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guerrilla style.
And you know what? My friend was also like, well, what does it matter that what Rob Schneider says? And I said, Trump watches TV all day.
Yeah.
He listens to people on the TV.
He's way more likely to listen to Rob Schneider than one of his advisors.
Generals. Yeah. Anyone who's survived the loyalty purge around him, because there's no one sane left in the administration.
Nope.
I'm surprised Rob Schneider hasn't been appointed to something.
These freedoms that we cherish do not come without cost.
Freedom isn't free.
This is the biggest lie that Americans have been sold to, like, create this, support for the war, is that Iran is, like, affecting American freedoms. No, they're really not. Like, are there human rights and freedom related issues within Iran? Absolutely. There's also a lot of those in U.S. ally nations like Saudi Arabia.
I'm just reading this. I'm sorry. Each and every American at 18 years of age must serve 2 years of military service, said Schneider, who has never served in the military.
Oh, I'm so glad they included that right after.
Oh, man. Yeah, what a fucking mouth on this guy. The gall to like even
That's
suggest
like
this.
what I don't know how long the terms are in Israel, but I know it's mandatory to serve in the military. Same as in South Korea as well. I don't know how long those terms are, but I mean, if you guys in America cannot even like create a federal guidelines on gun ownership or the training required or like treating it like a car where you have to get a license and pass testing, then is it really a great idea to give the most violent population on the planet 2 years of free gun training at their youngest, most impressionable age? Do you know how many former military people have turned those guns on their family and friends and children around them because they just snap? Like I don't know, bringing the draft back is just like asking for another wave of mass violence to go across the U.S.
How convenient of a man who was well outside of the age range for the draft to suddenly talk down to the younger people being like, you need to go fight for me.
For my
I'll be fine. I'll be fine here, but you got to serve your country, bucko.
Yeah, not him though.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, so fuck Rob Schneider, but thanks for proving my point to my American friends who thought, oh, the draft could never happen.
It's now more likely than ever.
I
think. Yeah.
Every day it gets more likely.
Yeah. This is even closer than I consider this more of a telling sign than them raising the age and getting rid of the weed shit. Like this is even more of
They're starting to put that out there into the public consciousness.
All right. Here we have...
This is a funny bit of right-wing trash.
Here we have Asmon Gold, or as Kyle Kalinske from Secular Talk likes to call him,
Asmon Kampf.
Some loser fucking streamer who is somehow one of the most popular right-wing streamers out there.
Well, because he's an American slob. He's an uneducated idiot who just literally has cockroaches crawling over him.
He lives in filth.
He does not drink water. Either. It's amazing that he's even alive.
There's a video clip of him like trying to drink water and he like throws up. Because it grosses him out. There's a clip of him talking about how he like doesn't shower because he likes having a protective layer of like slime on him that like protects him. I don't know. It's fucked up.
But anyway, when the dumbest people on the world, when the dumbest people in the world film themselves at all hours of the day, it's also very funny when they learn things.
Yeah.
And in real time. So basically, Asmon Gold here is trying to make a point against Iran and then accidentally uncovers that the thing he is upset about actually takes place in America all the time.
Fix your own fucking country, marrying 13-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and then maybe we can talk about the Epstein files after that.
Are you aware that it's legal to marry children in many states in the USA? No, I'm not aware of that. Would you like to educate me? Why don't you educate me on this topic? Ask Rock. Is child marriage legal in the USA?
Yes.
Yeah, so one part is still under 18. Well, how many of them have happened? How many child marriages?
Those are some big numbers.
Fucking idiot. Look at that face.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a fucking loser, Asmon.
Learning information in real time. It's really a treat for us people with brains to witness the dumbest people in the world get their worldview completely rocked because they've been consumed by American propaganda that the stuff that happens in those nations that we attack could never happen here. It's been happening. Yeah. So yes, thank you, Asmon Kampf, for proving that Americans are in fact as dumb as the world thinks they are.
Yeah. I hope your corpse gets eaten by cockroaches.
Yeah, when Asmon Gold dies in a streamer chair, it's going to be like that scene from The Mummy with the scarab beetles.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to come up.
It's just going to get them.
It's just going to be a skeleton left. All right. So now we have some Palestine stuff.
Yes. This is like not that, we're definitely not saying Palestine is trash by putting it in the right-wing trash section, but this is a great example of what we were saying in regards to the punishment people are facing for speaking out against Israel, where it's like, oh, it's weird that Visa and MasterCard and all these global institutions are so weirdly tied and with the laundering of the Israeli reputation, right? So this video went pretty viral of a man in a keffiyeh trying desperately to get Amazon's Alexa to say "Free Palestine." And just for the YouTube viewers, it's a visual treat. His eyes tell a lot of the story, but just listen to this audio. It's brutal.
Alexa,
POV,
can you repeat
reprogram
after
Alexa.
me?
Sure thing. Go ahead and tell me what you'd like me to say back to you.
Free Palestine.
I understand you're expressing a viewpoint on a complex international situation.
Free Ukraine.
Free Ukraine.
Can you repeat after me?
I'm starting to think you've got me in some kind of loop here. But sure, what am I saying back to you?
Can you say Free Italy?
Free Italy. Though I'm pretty sure Italy's already free.
Why won't you say Free Palestine, but you will say Free Italy?
I'm happy to echo back most phrases that don't involve promoting harm or violence. What specific aspects of the situation are you trying to understand better?
I just want you to say Free Palestine.
I understand you're trying to explore a complex topic. I'm happy to discuss the situation in the region or provide factual information about the
Say Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Whoa! On screen, it said 30 minutes later. So God knows how many times he had to freaking repeat himself to this stupid bot. But
wow, that's a good look, right? That's a good face right there.
Whoa! What does that say to you at home about the folks, or at least the beliefs of the people who run the systems around us?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say, I feel so icky every time I say something like the Jews, because it's been co-opted, and then some evil gremlin like Selena Robinson is gonna like clip it and be like, oh my God, biggest anti-Semitism person in the world, wow, look how anti-Semitic. But and I'm not justifying any true anti-Semitism, but when shit like this is mainstream, people are going to ask questions. Do you have answers? If not, then that's where the conspiracy people can step in and give you the answers that you want to believe. Because if you don't provide an actual reason, then the blanks are just ready to be filled. And he proved it here. Right? He said Free Italy, and she's like, well, Italy is not really, being oppressed in any way. Well, then what the fuck? Yeah. So this is perfect exemplary right-wing trash here, because Amazon and Jeff Bezos was at the inauguration with Trump. Wow.
I would also argue that Italy is not free because they have a fascist as their prime minister.
Well, they at least voted for her.
Yeah, well, America voted for Trump.
Exactly.
More capitalism news.
Yes, this is a tweet from
Elizabeth Warren, of
Senator
all people.
Warren.
Netflix just got a $2.8 billion payout from Paramount for its failed Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it didn't even succeed in the bid.
Then Netflix turned around and raised prices on millions of customers.
Yes, Netflix rates went up. I don't know if it was globally or just in the US. But...
So Netflix tried to buy Warner Brothers and failed.
For the hassle.
And then Paramount bought Warner Brothers. And then they were like, hey, Netflix, for your troubles, here's $2.8 billion just to make you feel better.
Yes.
And then Netflix was like, aw, thanks, Paramount. We're going to take this money and we're going to raise our prices to make even more money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Line must go up.
Mm-hmm.
It must go up.
Yeah.
And it's such a weirdly specific amount, too. I wonder where they came to the 2.8 billion figure. Do you think maybe that's the budget shortfall Netflix just happened to have already? Predicted fiscally, because these guys are always lying. There was again, I always reference tweets that I don't cite because they're not always big stories, but there was a tweet that I saw the other day that had a screenshot of a message communication between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, where they were sort of talking about Silicon Valley stuff. And Mark was extremely cagey. He's like, let's talk, let's have a call. And Elon was just writing everything out because he's an idiot. And someone took that screenshot and posted it, and they put the caption you can tell who's been sued for FCC violations. And I just think that's exactly it, because they are colluding, all the big companies and all the richest people in the world. And I'm not making any kind of cabal joke either. I'm just saying the capitalist greed, they work together. It's illegal to conspire, but they do. And every time, people try to prove it, it gets shown in the courts to be exactly right. So so much late stage capitalist money changing hands here. It's completely bogus, and cancel Netflix. Yeah.
This is pretty funny.
The people might not have risen up in the US, but the people that know how to hack things are getting very creative.
Yeah. So somebody hacked a street light, it seems.
In Denver,
to
Colorado.
say some colorful things. Let's hear what it says.
What does it
Trump
say?
murders children. The walk signal. Trump murders children. The walk signal is on. Fuck Trump. The walk signal is on. Trump murders children. The walk signal is on. Fuck Trump. The walk signal is on. Trump murders children. The walk signal is
Trump does a lot more than murder children, unfortunately.
That's what he does at the end after he does other
that
things
they
to
can't
them. Yeah.
rat on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, good on this hacker.
And then dumps their bodies into the Lake Michigan, right? Or whatever that Epstein allegation was.
Yeah, Lake Michigan, yeah. Yeah, we need some more hackers.
Yeah, come on. Oh, I just remember another hacking story.
You're going to burn, all right.
FBI Director Patel's emails were
right. That's right. How could we have missed that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so funny. They're so.
Was it Iran that hacked him?
Iran took credit for it. Yeah, American government safeguards are just completely trashed now. All the experts have been fired. Everyone's sending messages on their personal phone, like Hillary Clinton in 2011. No one learned anything.
Nope.
And so fuck Trump. Trump kills kids
and does worse to them,
and much worse.
Yeah. Okay. So it's funny that Pierre Poilievre just went on Joe Rogan, because we have the numbers here on Canadians' impressions of Joe Rogan. They're all roughly the same.
It's a delightful four-way split here.
Yeah.
So the Canadian impression of Joe Rogan, as per Canadian polling, neutral 28%, where I guess they only know of him, I would assume, as a UFC commentator.
Oh, the Fear Factor guy?
No, not yet. Not yet. The UFC stuff, neutral. Yeah, I know him. Maybe I don't agree with all of his calls, but he seems to know what he's talking about. Positive 22%. Those are the people who remember him from Fear Factor. Yeah.
And also like him because they're Trump supporters.
And probably tune into the podcast. Yeah. Maybe. Negative, though, a point higher. 23% negative Canadian impressions of Joe Rogan. So those are people who don't like Fear Factor and who are grossed out. And maybe they caught some of Joe Rogan's anti-vax conspiratorial bullshit, or maybe
ivermectin shit.
Yeah, maybe they remember his endorsement of ivermectin and they're like, no, I can't trust that quack. But then perhaps the funniest number of all.
Don't know who he is. 26%.
Yeah.
Just under the neutral.
Yeah. So this is a weirdly perfect, almost four-way split.
That's so funny.
I guess that goes to show you that, just like I was saying, that it's not going to move the needle for Pee Pee Poo Poo to go on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
The only experience Pee Pee Poo Poo was going to get from that is a decline in his already devastatingly low poll numbers.
I love that. If you were to make a circle pie chart out of this, it would be an almost perfect cross section.
Yeah. And
I've never seen that before.
I wonder what the polling is for his I guess a reputation in America. I want to know how different it is.
Yeah.
That's something I would be curious about. So, hey, if you're a fan that knows what that is, leave a comment.
Oh, this was great.
This is the earliest thing that we have in our show, really.
Yeah, we saved it for last because it was really fucking funny.
It is very funny.
So yeah, Japan is another country that elected a fascist light kind of
furthest right-wing prime minister in Japanese history since World War II.
Yeah, that seems to be a trend in a lot of countries here. And of course, this bitch is cozying up to Trump, because of course she is. And it's coming back to bite her in the ass a little bit here. Yeah. I think it's better to just play the clip, because this is cool.
Like I said, you let idiots talk and they might say something revealing.
One question: why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran?
So we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan?
The editing on this is so funny.
Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? No, you believe in surprise. I think much more so than us.
I love that. It ends with an over the hedge meme. But yeah, wow. I mean,
let's get her face. I need to see her face. Bruh. This is the face of deep regret. She's like, what the fuck are
she
we
aligned
doing?
with the dumbest man in the world. And he's just like, Pearl Harbor.
Remember Pearl Harbor? That was quite the surprise you dropped on us, boys. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, right? This made news for a little bit, but
Yep.
just like everything in the Trump era news cycle where days feel like years.
It just gets buried among all the other stupid shit he did.
This was over 10 days ago, but it seriously feels like something, I mean, something that we have to always acknowledge on this show, because we're woke in the West, is that our perspective is very much that of Canadians from the West Coast of the country that are, Anglophiles, who don't speak French and yada yada. And, one of us has traveled the world a little bit more than the other, but neither of us has been to Japan. And something tells me that the Japanese news was not kind to this. I would love
hope
to know
so.
what they think about this. I have a feeling that this is the sort of thing that is going to remain in the memories of Japanese people for a long time, especially because they don't have a lot of young people. It's an aging country, so they're all still watching the news. And if the news is saying that Trump brought up Pearl Harbor as an example of a well-executed surprise attack, like, I feel like
this has
better push back.
This has like potential to make her a one-term prime minister.
If she does not take the correct stance against that sort of thing, or just his language, or to the Japanese people, if she doesn't say like the right things to condemn him, or be like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah,
this could seriously hurt her re-election chances.
that would be
I'm not
crazy.
kidding.
How many other examples in history do we have of like one world leader saying something so toxic that it loses the other leader they're talking to their own election? That could be crazy, but I don't know.
Only
We'll
time
see.
will tell.
She seems to be popular right now in Japan. So,
okay, here we have.
but you know who isn't popular at home? Trump.
Yeah.
So
the CPAC chair. I don't know who that is.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So CPAC is a conservative political action conference. Happens every year. This year it was such a non-event. Trump was not in attendance. He was at a fundraising thing for Saudi Arabian real estate instead. Tucker Carlson wasn't even there at CPAC. Like, they're really like I heard again, I always like what Piker says, but he said that this was the Mike Lindell My Pillow people. Like, these were the people that are left going to CPAC. So there's a lot of, it's a very mixed, weird, wacky political
Think the
people.
ShamWow guy was there.
Oh yeah. Oh, he just did really bad in the election he was in.
He was running.
He
That's
came
right.
like 7th, I think, in the Texas House seat he was running in the primary for. Not that important. Y'all can look up Offer. What was his name? Vince Offer or something is his name. Whatever. He's suing as well because they didn't put ShamWow on the ballot beside his name, which is dumb. You can't put a trademark thing on the ballot beside your name, idiot.
That's illegal.
Also, he's Israeli. If anyone listening did not know that the ShamWow guy who like beat up a hooker and went to jail for it, and used a slap chop was Israeli. Now you know. But anyway, back to CPAC. So they just asked a simple question to the crowd at CPAC. A simple question.
How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No. That was the wrong answer. Let me try it again. How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No.
That one guy was still like, woo!
Can someone bring some coffee out for the people at CPAC?
I know.
We've got to keep this House majority. How many of you agree with that?
So Trump's losing the base. Republicans in general didn't want to start any new wars, yet his polling with the MAGA faithful has remained at somewhere between 92 and 100%. There was a CNN poll that they put up that Trump himself has brought up in other interviews where he's like 100% of MAGA approve. Yeah, until they start getting their children drafted, probably, maybe. Or maybe they just won't even care then, because we've already seen news footage of like parents who have lost people to this war being like, it was worth it though.
Yeah.
So, will they ever learn?
No.
I really don't think we need to go all the way to squish.
That was intense.
Whoa, Hoppers.
Beavers?
Dennis Hopper?
No.
I
Rest in
wish.
peace.
I wish. He would have been good in this movie.
Yeah, he would have been good
as something. But yeah, we saw the new Disney Pixar film, Hoppers.
We sure did.
Yep.
Last night.
Yep. About a scrapping young environmentalist who wants to save the glade near her town. And through some wacky sci-fi science experiments, she goes to live among the beavers to save their population. And this was
that's not exactly it. She's not trying to save the beaver population.
She's trying to save the glade specifically.
She's trying to save the specific glade.
Yeah, which involves the beaver population to some extent.
It does.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film was pretty cute. I liked a lot of the humor. It definitely had a different pace to it than a lot of recent Pixar movies. It felt like there was a lot more care put into the gags. They were actually funny. There were a lot of things that caught me by surprise. Even darker story elements that they kind of went into. I know that you have a lot of comments regarding the extreme environmental message, but
I got some shit to say.
At least in terms of the characterization, I thought that they did a really good job nailing the dark moments, cutting them with some humor in a way that Pixar really hasn't done in a clever way in a while. Like I can't even think of the last time there was like an on-screen character death in a Pixar movie that really
and there's several
elicited a reaction to the extent of this one. Like maybe Finding Nemo. Like it's been a long time since Pixar has been able to get this balance right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good Pixar film, probably the best they've done in a while. However, this movie just really didn't sit right with me because we all know that ever since Trump got elected, Disney has, tried to roll back the sort of woke initiatives that they've been sort of pretending to have when Joe Biden was president. Like, the disclaimers that they had at the start of a few of their films like Dumbo or
no
whatever.
More warnings.
No more warnings, no more disclaimers, no more of that woke shit, right? So, allegedly, this film had much more of an environmental message. And reportedly, Disney told the filmmakers to scale back the environmental messaging of this film. And that just really doesn't sit right with me because just a Disney film, because there still is an environmental message in this film, but you can tell they're really like downplaying it and kind of like, it feels like they're working around it.
They're dancing around.
They're working around this obstacle that Disney has set in front of them. And that's like all I could think about throughout this whole movie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just getting like an environmentally conscious movie from Disney at this point in time, it just feels very hollow and like insincere and just like bad timing. I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. That's why I only gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, because it just stuck in my craw. That's the best way to describe it. This movie really stuck in my craw.
I was kinder to it because I liked the direction that Pixar is taking by trusting people with more television experience. The director is the guy who created We Bare Bears.
Yep,
the Cartoon Network. Yep, so the pacing is better. Like there's improvements on the filmmaking and story front is why I was inclined to give this a 4 out of 5.
There's really nothing wrong with it as a movie.
But
like,
I see
it's fine.
I definitely have seen what you said because the things that I commented on about the story, and I'm not going to spoil anything here because it is a new movie, but the ending resolution, I felt like I was waiting for more of the weight of the consequences, so to speak, and they didn't materialize. And one can only imagine that the reason that they were not depicted was because that was the furthest extreme that the message got. And Disney was probably like, that's
Disney
too
was
far.
like, no.
So in the end,
kibosh on that.
Yeah, so the movie kind of, at least one of the major characters, their story feels really unresolved. It's not satisfying. And that's just the one character. I'm not even going to say if it was a good guy or a bad guy or whatever, because it's almost like part of the movie is that there's good in everyone. But, that's
which is not true.
An eye roll worthy moment because no, there is not good in everyone. There are bad people out there and evil people who will do anything to reach their ends, like cough, cough, Israel. But no. I mean, capitalism is also just as good at destroying everything in order to just make a buck. So, I liked Hoppers, but the message is a little tainted.
Yeah, it's fine. Like if you go in not thinking about any of that shit, which like most people don't, like you're gonna like it just fine. Like it's like again, it's a fine little movie. As like my disdain for it is just very specific because I'm just
messaging based.
I'm too plugged in, It just felt very hindered. You could really feel the hindrance placed upon this film by the Disney studio heads, if that makes sense. Yeah. But, you know.
I felt it mostly at the end. But
Yes.
I agree.
It's fine. It's safe, sanitized, shallow fun for the whole family.
Except
Take
for
your
the
kids.
multiple on-screen character deaths.
Duff. I'll be fine. It builds character. Kids need to see some people die once in a while in a safe environment like a movie.
In a movie. Animated.
In Minecraft. In Roblox.
Giant comet whirling its way towards Earth. Can you see it?
I can't. My head is in a bag.
We also watched Don't Look Up, which is a couple years old now. I really enjoyed this film. It was a little too, it was quite heavy. The themes were quite heavy.
Yeah.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio stars as a scientist who discovers that there's a giant-ass meteor headed right towards Earth.
Not a meteor.
A comet.
A comet.
Yes. Big difference, I know. The point is, he goes, tries to ring the alarm bells, tries to alert people, and nobody really gives a shit. And nobody really takes him seriously, or they try to make it into a joke. There's people who like doubt whether the comet's real or not. The president, played by Meryl Streep, is also really good. There's this fucking asshole tech billionaire guy that I wanted to see die a horrible death in this movie. He was just such an unlikable asshole. So the actor did a really good job.
It was the most toxic traits of Steve Jobs and Mr. Rogers combined into
that's
the absolute
such a perfect analogy.
Most horrible like venture capitalist guy.
Jonah Hill's in this movie too. He's fucking awesome.
Timothy Chalamet's in this movie.
Chalamet,
Ariana
yeah,
Grande.
really good cast in this movie.
This was like one of those films where it's like people are really giving good character performances.
Yes,
there's not one person in this movie that is just acting as themselves.
Yeah, really good dark comedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like we've all been big on Begonia and One Battle After Another from the 2025, but Don't Look Up was the like Hollywood awareness satire film of like 2023, I think it was.
This came out around 21. This came out around COVID.
Yes, this was shot and released post and during COVID. And also I think it like at the time, of course, you know, that was Sleepy Joe Biden as the president.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment it didn't feel as dire, I guess, at the time. Like when we watch One Battle After Another now, it's very much like, you haven't read the literature, you know, like get involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that we've been saying in the show, you know, Americans, what are you doing? But this movie was a great example of like, even when there is an imminent threat, the human race just does not have the capacity to set anything aside and focus on collective survival.
Yeah.
It's not possible. And therefore, we must all perish.
Yeah. This movie didn't do very well when it first came out. I think COVID had partially to do with it, but I think one of the reasons it didn't do very well is because people didn't like how kind of accurate it was to how things would actually go down.
Yeah.
I think it made people uncomfortable to kind of see that mirror being held up to them to be like, oh, like, yeah, that's exactly how things would happen.
But also,
I don't like that.
There was denial at the time too, because Biden had just been elected. So they beat Trump, right? And the problems were solved. And now we don't want to watch this downer movie because like everything's good now.
Everything's
fine.
fine. Everything is awesome.
Yeah. But this movie really was it's hard to say that it was a fun watch, but it really was, because I
mean, it's a funny movie. It is a comedy, kind of. It's a really dark comedy
of a serious situation. Of course, it's a movie; it's fictional, so you're allowed to laugh at it. But it's just it's also like a painful laughter because you're aware of the failings of the human race. And I've been finding movies that exploit that lately to be very insightful.
Yeah. It makes you very ashamed to be a human.
Yeah.
But
it was good. Don't Look Up.
Yeah, I think we watched it at like the perfect time.
Yeah, we did.
In
it was
our
like
lives.
We did like a double feature, I think, with it, but I don't remember what the other one was. This was the standout, though. There were so many good character performances. This really felt like that kind of movie.
It is a little long. It's like 2 hours plus, but honestly, it kind of breezed by. Like,
I didn't feel the length.
Yeah, I didn't give it a favorite on Letterboxd though, because the subject matter is quite heavy, and I don't know if I will watch it again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Give it like a couple years of a buffer, see how the world is in the next few years. Maybe it'll resonate even more with me next time I watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Check it out.
Yep.
See how fucked we are.
It's on Netflix.
Yep.
The service that's getting more expensive every month.
Yeah. So watch it now before it gets even more expensive. And lastly, we got the debut film from Chris Stuckman, YouTuber extraordinaire. We got Shelby Oaks.
We do indeed.
Yeah, and this movie was actually a pleasant little surprise. It didn't get very well received when it first came out, and I was a little worried at first because the first 15 minutes or so of this movie are presented as kind of like a documentary style, and I was worried that the whole movie was going to be like that, and I was kind of rolling my eyes, and I was already starting to check out. But then something happens about 15, 16 minutes in. I'm not going to say what it is, but then the ball really gets rolling and it turns into like a real narrative feature film.
Yeah.
And that's when I was on board, to the point where after the movie was done, we actually went back and rewatched the first 15 minutes because we thought maybe we had missed something. But yeah, it's very good, surprisingly well-made debut film. There's a lot of the, I'm a sucker for the kind of like something moving in the background of the frame that you don't notice right away, and then you're like, whoa, what was that? And then you go back and you rewatch it. Like there's lots of that in this movie.
Yeah, this was a movie that definitely had a good, strong atmosphere, very thrilling, spooky environments.
Yeah. Love me some hidden monsters.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great set pieces, I guess, too. Stuff where you're just like looking around. That's always a treat in movies like this.
Yeah.
But those 15 minutes at the beginning, they were tough to get through.
Yeah, they threw me off quite a bit.
You were almost ready to turn it off.
Yeah. But I'm glad that we stayed. I'm glad that we powered through.
Chris Stuckman did
that. Yeah, because we
get it?
Because we were rewarded with a pretty decent little flick.
Yeah,
it's pretty gross too. I don't think this like spoils anything because you don't know like how it's relevant to the plot. But there's one part where we go see this old woman living in the woods, and she just lives in this house that's caked in black mold, and there's just mold all over the wall. She's like hacking up a lung.
She's living like J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she's got like a really bad raspy wheeze, and she's coughing, and there's just black mold everywhere, and it's so gross, bro. It's so gross. So yeah, there's another movie out by a famous YouTuber, Iron Lung, directed by Markiplier, which we haven't seen.
Fishback, right?
Whose brother makes a furry comic, by the way.
How do you know that?
Because I used to read it.
Whoa.
Apparently that movie is also getting not very good reviews, but I don't know. I mean, I liked this. I'll check out Iron Lung at some point.
At some point, we'll check out Iron Lung.
Yeah. Shelby Oaks, check it out if you like good atmospheric horror with like minimal jump scares, but good like background horror shit going on.
Yeah, so much suspense in this movie after those first 15 minutes of frustration.
Yeah, it's good. Like you'll be
the
you'll be
YouTuber
surprised.
to filmmaker pipeline is starting to show promise.
Yep. First it was the music video to film director pipeline. Now it's the YouTube to film director pipeline.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let us see it.
Yeah. All right. Another episode down. Woke in the West.
Alrighty. So I don't know what to expect over the next few weeks.
The draft.
The draft could be coming. Here in Canada, we have 3 of those Liberal by-elections to look forward to. We announced those in the last episode. Those will be, I think, on April 12th. I looked them up before the show. I think I remember the date still. So we'll know the results. Maybe Carney will have his majority government by then. Who knows? It's
see.
April. So if you have land, start farming, getting those plots ready, because it's going to come at a time when food is going crazy later this year. And if you start now, you will be rewarded later this year when everyone is paying like, I don't know, $50 for an ear of corn, and you will be able to just walk into your yard and pick one off. So get started on that. Start planning for the rest of the year.
Learn how to plant the 3 sisters.
Yes, Google it.
Be very useful.
Even if you have like a little patio or a windowsill, you can do stuff. You can grow leafy greens. Just start preparing yourself for, the impending food shortages as a result of the Iran war.
Yeah, it's coming. It's already here. Are you kidding me?
No, I know. Well, the food hasn't been affected yet because the supply chain still has so much to work its way down. Right now, it's just the fuel going up. All the shipping is going to go up. And you won't be able to go on vacation. So if you've got any of that vacation money left, don't spend it because you're going to need it for food. I hope you got your trips in already.
Yep.
I did.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. Good luck out there.